Today's Friday, August 1st, 2025. This is Read Through the Bible.
Hi, everyone. Wow, happy August.
Happy August. And that means we've been 7 months at reading through the scriptures together. Yeah. For all of you who are joining us on this journey, just congratulations. Great job keeping with us.
Another month.
Yep, did another month. They just kind of fly by. And we traveled yesterday, and we're here in Durango with Asar and Jenna and baby June. She's one of the sweetest children I know.
We're kind of biased.
We are very biased.
I think she is.
Absolutely. So, okay, we are going to read just one chapter today, Luke chapter 23. And this details the final trials, his crucifixion, death, and burial of Jesus. There's your summary. You can write it down if you want as you listen to read. That's the context. Then the whole company of them arose. That's the whole company of all the Sanhedrin. So this is 70 men ruling over Israel. They arose and brought him before Pilate. And they began to accuse him, saying, "We found this man misleading our nation and forbidding us to give tribute to Caesar, saying that he himself is Christ, a king." And Pilate asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And he answered him, "You have said so." Then Pilate said to the chief priests and the crowds, "I find no guilt in this man." But they were urgent, saying, "He stirs up the people, teaching throughout all Judea, from Galilee even to this place."
Verse 6, when Pilate heard this, he asked whether the man was Galilean. And when he learned that he belonged to Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him over to Herod, who was himself in Jerusalem at that time. So Herod would be the king, still under the Emperor Caesar.
Yeah, who was worried a bit about the rising of this prophet.
Sure.
And he said, "Well, I think it maybe is John the Baptist whom I beheaded," and was wanting to see Jesus, and so finally he did.
Yeah. Okay, verse 8. When Herod saw Jesus, he was very glad, for he had long desired to see him, because he had heard about him, and he was hoping to see some sign done by him. So he questioned him at some length, but he made no answer. The chief priests and
that'd be kind of disappointing. You want to meet him for a long time.
And then Jesus just says nothing.
Yeah, just quiet.
Verse 10, the chief priests and the scribes stood by, vehemently accusing him. And Herod, with his soldiers, treated him with contempt and mocked him. Then, arraying him in splendid clothing, he sent him back to Pilate. And Herod and Pilate became friends with each other that very day. For before this, they had been at enmity with each other.
Pilate then called together the chief priests and the rulers of the people and said to them, "You brought me this man as one who was misleading the people, and after examining before you, behold, I did not find this man guilty of any of your charges against him. Wow. Neither did Herod, for he sent him back to us. Look, nothing deserving death has been done by him. I will therefore punish and release him."
Wow.
And this, by the way, there are several statements in the scriptures that speak about how Jesus was sinless.
Yeah.
Particularly in the book of Hebrews. I think of chapter 7, chapter 4, verse 15, I think. Chapter 7, verse 25, maybe. Speak both about how he is sinless, and just even this account here of just Pilate saying, even his death, he didn't even sin to deserve death because he was innocent.
Wow. But what a sad commentary on their justice system if the ruler is saying he's not guilty, and yet the people can still punish him.
Right.
Kill him. Verse 18, but they all cried out together, "Away with this man, and release to us Barabbas," a man who had been thrown into prison for an insurrection started in the city and for murder. Pilate addressed them once more, desiring to release Jesus, but they kept shouting, "Crucify him," or "Crucify, crucify him." A third time he said to them, "Why? What evil has he done? I have found in him no guilt deserving death. I will therefore punish and release him."
Again, just showing his innocence, for sure.
Yeah. Verse 23, but they were urgent, demanding with loud cries that he should be crucified, and their voices prevailed. So Pilate decided that their demand should be granted. He released the man who had been thrown into prison for insurrection and murder, for whom they had asked, but he delivered Jesus over to their will. Wow. He's much more concerned about pleasing the people than about true justice.
Yep. And as they led him away, they seized one Simon of Cyrene, who was coming in from the country, and laid on him the cross to carry it behind Jesus. And there followed him a great multitude of the people and of women who were mourning and lamenting for him. But turning to them, Jesus said, "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children." What an amazing thing. Here's Jesus was suffering greatly, heading off to death. And don't weep for me, weep for yourselves. Just kind of seeing the bigger picture of what's taking place. Like they're in their sin. "For behold, the days are coming when they will say, 'Blessed are the barren and the wombs that never bore and the breasts that never nursed.' Then they will begin to say to the mountains, 'Fall on us,' and to the hills, 'Cover us,'" Isaiah 2. If they do these things, then when the wood is green, what will happen when it is dry?"
2 others, who were criminals, were led away to be put to death with him. And when they came to the place that is called the Skull, there they crucified him and the criminals, one on his right and one on his left. And Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." And they cast lots to divide his garments. And the people stood by watching. But the rulers scoffed at him, saying, "He saved others. Let him save himself, if he is the Christ of God, his chosen one." The soldiers also mocked him, coming up and offering him sour wine, and saying, "If you are the king of the Jews, save yourself." And there was also an inscription over him, "This is the King of the Jews."
One of the criminals who were hanged railed at him, saying, "Are you not the Christ? Save yourself and us." But the other rebuked him, saying, "Do you not fear God, since you are under the same sentence of condemnation? And we indeed justly, for we are receiving the due reward of our deeds, but this man has done nothing wrong." And he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And he said to him, "Truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise." Wow, what a promise. That absent with the body is present with the Lord. Upon our death, we go into the presence of Jesus.
Verse 44, "It was now about the 6th hour, and there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour, while the sun's light failed." Wow, so total darkness in the middle of the day.
Yeah, from the 3rd hour, 6th hour, that's noon, until the 9th hour, that's 3 o'clock. Yeah, darkness in the day.
People have been terrified. I mean, that would be terrifying.
Yeah, and this is miraculous. Some people said, "Oh, there was an eclipse that day." What, an eclipse? Like 90 minutes tops. 90 seconds tops.
It doesn't last 3 hours.
It doesn't last 3 hours. This was divine darkness that fell because the judgment of God was being poured out on Jesus. This is the most significant hours of the whole of human history, right here.
So the sun's light failed, and the curtain of the temple was torn in two.
Yeah, signifying he is creating the entrance into the Holy of Holy place.
Right. Yeah. Access to God. Verse 46, "Then Jesus, calling out with a loud voice, said, 'Father, into your hands I commit my spirit.' And having said this, he breathed his last. Now when the centurion saw what had taken place, he praised God, saying, 'Certainly this man was innocent.'" Just so many references here to Jesus being innocent.
And therefore, right, he also, even the criminals said, right,
that he's done nothing wrong.
And we are receiving what was a due reward of our deeds. I mean,
right.
But so what this shows is this was really the most unjust action that ever took place upon all of history. A perfectly innocent, pure man suffering capital punishment, the punishment of death.
The centurion said it. The other criminals said it. Pilate said it. Herod said it.
Yep.
Wow. Verse 48, "And all the crowds that had assembled for this spectacle, when they saw what had taken place, returned home beating their breasts." I don't know, in fear or anguish. Yeah.
Sorrow and anguish, and just seeing how unjust it all was.
Maybe, yeah. "And all his acquaintances and the women who had followed him from Galilee stood at a distance watching these things."
Now there was a man named Joseph from the Jewish town of Arimathea. He was a member of the council, a good and righteous man who had not consented to their decision and action. For he was looking for the kingdom of God. He was just a voice, said whatever, abstaining, voting against whatever they're doing to kill him. This man went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then they took it down and wrapped it in a linen shroud and laid him in a tomb cut in stone where no one had ever been laid. It was the day of preparation, and the Sabbath was beginning. The women who had come with him from Galilee followed and saw the tomb and how his body was laid. Then they returned and prepared spices and ointments. On the Sabbath they rested according to the commandment. I think how appropriate it is. It's Friday and we're reading this.
Right.
And in the weekend, we'll be in the Psalms. So it's going to be like a couple days until we read of the resurrection.
Yep.
And just to encourage you, even this weekend, to sort of feel that, you know, Jesus, we just read of him dying, and it's going to be a few days until we hear of him rising. And we'll hear that story on Monday.
That's right.
And hope you look forward to that time. We will see you then.
Goodbye.